Mark from Stretchworks again, here to bring you up a little bit more that you can add to your routine. This is a great way to add a little bit more what we call thoracic mobility, as well as massaging some of that tissue on that posterior side. So really looking at lumbar all the way up to thoracic, to shoulders, to lats. So I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a scoop. I've got kind of the smaller foam roller here, but you can use basically any size. The texture can also matter. I would stay away from the ones that are the knobs. Those can kind of be a little bit more aggressive, and as I said in some of the earlier posts, really less is more when it comes to a lot of soft tissue work, as well as even stretching work. If there's any time where you feel like you're in pain or you're holding breath, that's a good sign from the body saying that, hey, you know what, maybe I need to back off a little bit, okay? So those are just some, again, key indicators of doing things the wrong way versus things that you want to do the correct way. So again, we're using a smaller one. You can use any size. The textures also matter, and even just kind of the give. So this is a newer one, so it's not as soft. If you're someone that's super sensitive, I recommend starting with more of a softer foam roller than getting something that might be a little harder. But there's all kinds out there. If you have questions or comments or not sure where you could get one, this is kind of an easy thing that I think a lot of people have in their households, but I'd be happy to answer them. Just drop us a comment and we can definitely help you find the right fit for you. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the best way to start with this is really just to ease up on the tissue. So I like to start up more at the top of the back, right? So more of the upper thoracic, just below the cervical, and then work my way down. A lot of times people start at the lower back, and that to me is just, it's too sensitive back there, and it's not a very mobile type of joint. So I would really work on more looking at thoracic first, and then scooching yourself down there. Again, most people suffer from lower back pain, so there's no sense in really attacking that first. So attack usually say above the chain or even below the chain. So here we go. I'm going to show you kind of thoracic. We're going to use our kind of on the ground. Pretty simple. So like I said before, don't start here. What I like to do is scoot my butt back, and then I'm just going to kind of ease into it. Make sure it's behind you, and I'm going to start more in the upper parts of the shoulder. And so, to intensify, you can lift your hips up, right, if you can. If you want to keep it a little lighter, so again, lessening the intensity, just keep your butt down. You're just basically pushing from the heels back and forth, really just massaging up and down. I like to cross my hands in my chest. You can cross them this way. Some people like to, support their neck. So again, if you've got a weaker neck, or say you get some neck pain, just brace those hands behind there and just really just kind of massage it up and down. So scooting that butt, sliding on the ground, back and forth, just working on it. Again, as you want to increase, you can start to go down towards the lower back. And I would keep the chin up and keep the chest up. Don't try to arch just yet. We don't want that extension in thoracic just yet. So just kind of, all we're doing is just massaging the tissue. Again, if you want to keep that butt up, then you can handle it. For me right now, as a super sensitive, so lifting my butt up is maybe a little bit too much for me. So that's why I keep it on the ground. As you can see, my shortness of breath. But this is pretty simple, right? Back and forth, just like that. You can even turn your body slightly. So if you want to turn to the right and get a little bit more of the right shoulder blade, right? You can get a little bit of the lat that's in there as well, or even shifting to the left, right? Just warming up the back tissue, right? Because we're about to just go to work. And so really start to improve the tissue mobility first, and then we can go after joint and tissue mobility. All right, so getting up and down, up and down. Sometimes I like to even go upwards to the neck, right, where I can lay down here and just kind of shimmy down, again, nice and easy. You can rotate side to side and just like nice and stuff. So again, be careful. This is a little bit more sensitive, so I don't recommend this for everybody if you have a lot of cervical issues. So just make sure, again, you're being very cautious when it comes to foam rolling. So again, we come back up, just like that, okay? And so now we've kind of warmed up the tissue. Do that for about 5 to 10 minutes, right? As I'm off the screen here. 5 to 10 minutes, nothing crazy, okay? And you can kind of, shift side to side. Again, I like to even go here, where now I could get even to the QL, right? So I'm looking on the side, shifting right to left, getting that big muscle off that back hip there and butt. And so same deal if I'm here, okay, right there. So again, I'm working on this area on that side. So really just warming up that tissue, okay, just like that. And now we're going to work on some thoracic mobility. So here, this is kind of a nice thing because it levers the body, so you can kind of get a little bit more extension in thoracic versus maybe getting bailed out at the lumbar. Remember, the lumbar spine, the way the facets are, the way the discs are, they're very bulky and they're very big. And the reason for this is because they're more of a stabilizer. They don't like to move a lot, right? I mean, they will move, but ultimately, it's thoracic and the hips that it relies on to do most of the mobility, right? So a lot of times when you have lower back pain, it's because thoracic isn't moving very well, or you have the hips that aren't moving very well. So those are some things that you can even lock up and just work on flexion, extension, right? And we can get some rotation in there as well to really enhance the stability more in that lower back, okay? So again, all we're gonna do is we're gonna cross our arms. We're gonna start up more at the top, and then all we do is we're just gonna lay back and breathe out, all right? So again, you're gonna get that extension really in that upper part. Nice, and then back down, so you go a little flexion, and then just roll down a little bit, just maybe like an inch, okay? Not very much, it's very small. And same deal, inhale and exhale. Sometimes I'll bring my elbows up to kind of help. Feels good. Sometimes you'll even get some popping, like pop, pop, pop. And that's good. That's releasing, that's awesome. Okay? Again, if you want, you can add in the hands. This sometimes we'll get a little shoulder. And you don't want to hang out here too long. Again, it puts a lot of tension on that neck and that head. So again, relaxing, and then again, scooting back a little bit more. And same deal, we're going to get that extension. Make sure you're breathing into the stretch. Awesome. Again, same deal, we can hit the hands. Ooh, mine just cracked. Awesome. Good. And again, we work our way down to where you feel comfortable. Now, sometimes as you get towards that lumbar, it's a little bit too much, right? You can't really go back as much. So that's okay. You know, again, go to where you feel comfortable. This is where you want to feel safe, all right? You know, for me, this is about as far as I'm going to go, because if I go any further, I'm really going to feel too much tension. So again, my hands are up or here, whatever you feel most comfortable. Good. And so when we do that, that's just working on flexion and extension a little bit. So you're flexing this way and really getting that extension, okay, popping that up. Now, we can add a little bit of lateral movement. So again, as we're doing this, it's also massaging the tissue, which is even better. So as I start, I like to even go here, and then take that arm, and you can reach to the side, right? You can also take your left in this situation, and then you can pull a little bit. So you're gonna get a nice stretch here, but then also working a little bit on that lateral flexion of that spine. Okay? Push the other way. Good. Again. And if you want, you can add a little bit of movement too, just to do some soft tissue work. Again, this is just exploring. So as I'm over here, now I'm on that right side. Good, same deal. So that's pretty easy. Those are some things that you can do. Again, going down, adding that again, reach to the left, reach to the right. You know, you can even add a rotation if you want. Like that. Just simple stuff. So hopefully that helped you. Just giving you a little bit of insight on kind of the foam roller, working on thoracic extension, and obviously the posterior chain soft tissue. So if you have any questions, hopefully you get to work and start to improve that mobility and help any kind of discomfort you might be going through. Again, if you got questions, go ahead and comment below and be happy to answer them. But good luck and enjoy. Stay safe.